Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum. This is a high-level MMR player. On the blue, we have B-Man, a very strong player from the 201 server. And on the top side, we have War Factory Abuser. He has been climbing up in ranks, and I believe he's currently at the top 15 on the 501 server ladder. All right, B-Man will be playing as an aerial spec, and it will be against a Rhino spec with the War Factory Abuser. So with Rhino, I think there is tempo is extremely important for a Rhino spec. You know that you'll get a huge power spike starting at round 4, so as long as you can keep your tempo advantage for the first 3 rounds, even if at the cost of certain, maybe let's say you want to take a loan, round 4 is going to carry you over into the later rounds. All right, so round 1 currently goes to the red player. And here are some unit cards. All right, let's see. Wraith would be a good pick for red to deal with both the crawlers as well as the wasps. And it was picked. For B-Man, I think Mustangs will be good because he does have steel balls. So ball stand is a very viable strategy. All right. We have some late arriving fans coming in from blue. And we have extremely advanced fans coming from red. I think red right now, the primary objective is just to prevent unit from getting into his arc lights. And if he can do that, he can probably clear up all this chaff and eventually win this game. The Phoenixes will do a wonderful job by picking up these steel balls, while the Wraith, as long as it's not being targeted, will do just fine against both the Mustangs as well as the wasps. A very cheeky move that is being defended by a single squad of fans on the left hand side. I think what so very cheeky move. Jump drive Phoenixes trying to get to the tower, but unfortunately I don't think it's gonna get them in time. Maybe just in the nick of time. Let's see. Oh no, not in time. The Wraith was down, and right now I don't think the Phoenixes can clear up the rest of this armies. Just a little too slow. So kudos for both sides. Kudos for red for trying that maneuver, and kudos for blue from recognizing that particular weakness and adding a squad of fans that split perfectly in both directions, and that defended that cheeky move. That was really high level play here. I'll talk about it a little bit more, but first let's look at the cards. Wasp Swarm is pretty good. It's actually not too bad for both sides because there isn't a lot of defense. So if you put a Wasp here, the Wasp can actually come to the tower on this side. For blue, he is putting Wasp in the back line. There's currently no defense whatsoever. All right, let's talk about this move here. The position of these fans. Normally, you like to position fans sort of in front of the tower, knowing that there's things coming down. But he had it sort of on the side. And when he put things on the side, anything that is in sort of this box here will get pulled towards the bottom, right? So sort of this box here, and that's what happened with these fans. And then whatever the rest of the squad will continue to move forward. So either it was a lucky pick or he was intentionally preparing for some sort of flank plus a frontal flank, which is really excellent if that was the plan. Wasp got picked. Wasp is doing Wasp things. Unfortunately, this was expected, and this was defended with the level 2 tower. I mean, eventually the Wasp will get to them, but that's not before all the units... Oh, actually, no, the Phoenixes are being picked on by these Wraith. I remember Blue getting anti-air. There we go. Anti-air wasp. And anti-air wasp serves two things. The first thing it does is it prevents any sort of cheeky wasp play on his side. And the other thing it does is it stops the Wraith defense. So that's a lot of tempo here for our blue player. Oil was added from the red player and to stop the speed. I'm not too sure if this is a great use of 150 resource right now, because with that sort of money, you could get Degen Beam, which only costs 200. Your units here, especially these crawlers, they're not really engaging. I mean, you're looking at the crawler, that's 0 damage, 0 damage. This one did a bit of damage. That is because we don't have a lot of chaff here. So these crawlers aren't really engaging, and just slowing them down, I guess, it's okay, but I wouldn't say it's an efficient use of resource. The Mustangs are going to shoot at your stuff regardless if there's oil or not, and the air units are just going to fly over. For red, there is a flank, so it is now round 4, and that is where the power spike is. A Wraith Rhino with crawlers to tank any missiles at the front. So this is going to be a quite powerful combination. They're all moving at the same speed. Wraith is able to clear out these chaff very quickly, and then the Rhino is going to give that final punch into the tower. And it doesn't matter if it's level 2. Rhino does so much damage to a single target. All right, minor defense, but that is not going to help anything. Let's take a look at the right-hand side and let's see what can we do. The Degen Beam is useful, but it doesn't have an answer to this anti-air wasp, right? These anti-air wasps is just killing everything on this side of the map. And I hope red realizes this sooner, because this wasp will just keep getting leveled. Recently, the Sandworm Wraith Wasp meta is very strong. So the way it works is you got Wraith with Degen Beam, you got Sandworm with Sandstorm, so it becomes this super tank, and also drawing aggro for pretty much all the units that's around the area. So Degen Beam plus Sandstorm, I think together you'll get about, what is it, 30%, about 60% damage reduction on the Sandworm. Very strong. Advanced Fire Control is picked by B-Man. Not very surprising. He already has a level 3 Mustang, so once you get this item, it's very, very strong. It's going to pretty much destroy all the chaff instantly. I wonder if he is going to put a Sandworm right here. Okay, for now, I think he's just building up his board. For red, I think he needs a very definitive answer to these wasps. He can go with range on this Wraith, but that is tricky because he's also up against another Wraith, so the Wraith is just going to draw aggro. He can put a Wraith right here, but it's not an ideal situation. Another way to deal with this wasp is to go Mustangs of his own. But Mustang is quite vulnerable if blue decides to put down a Sandworm and just go with the meta. Okay, so it seems like red really just wants to push its advantage on this side of the tower and completely abandoning this side of the tower. I'm not sure if I agree with this decision, because even if you clear out this side of the tower, there's absolutely nothing that shoots at these wasps, right? The Wraith is not going to survive long enough to deal with the wasp, which means once this is done, the only thing that can shoot at these wasps are these phoenixes, and phoenixes aren't great against anti-air wasp. So I'm not sure if this is the right move. It's a lot of resources for not a game. Once you get tower debuff, you're not even gonna take advantage of that, right? There's no units to really fight the army during the power debuff. Yeah, not sure. I think this is a mistake, and this might be a mistake that will cost red the game, because right now blue is just pulling further and further ahead. These Mustangs continue to get value, and they're going to get leveled. It's just going to be too much. too quickly for our red player to deal with. Sandworm gets picked. I think blue really should pick the Sandworm. As for red, I'm not sure if Sandworm is the good option for him. I will probably even go with the Fortress. Fortress with anti-air barrage. And Fortress themselves are also excellent against the Sandworm. So Fortress with launcher overload, they actually do a lot of damage against the Sandworm. I absolutely disagree with the decision to keep pushing on this side because it's not getting you any value. You're still not able to deal with the Wasp. You're still not able to deal with the Mustangs. So why pushing so hard in this tower? If you can time it right, let's say you're gonna put 2 Wraith right here in the back line with range, so that the moment you get this tower, these 2 Wraith can clear up everything here. That will be a strategy. But right now you have no follow-up, right? You spend so much resource to go through this tower, but you have no follow-up and you're not taking advantage of the debuff. So I don't agree with this at all. And let's see if my assessment is correct. Right-hand side falls very quickly. With these steel balls, he's probably going to get tower even before the tower on the left-hand side. And that's it. There's nothing left to deal with the Mustangs. There's nothing left to deal with the Wasps. It's just a very useless tower. And yes, sometimes player, feel like, yeah, I want to get to tower, I want to get debuff, but it's not just about getting the tower. It's about getting the tower and capitalizing on the benefit of the debuff. And if you can't capitalizing on a benefit, don't try to push for the tower. You're spending too much resource on getting something that is useless. No good cards for red here. Red is complaining about the Mustangs. I don't think the Mustangs is really the problem. I think it's the Red's inability to answer these Wasps. That's the real problem. And also just pushing this. This is a very strategic mistake, right? Imagine if these units were just being put here. Or imagine instead of the Sandworm, which I really don't know, we simply just get Wraith with range and put them sort of behind here. Yeah, you kind of have to estimate when you take the tower, but when you do, these ranged Wraith kind of shoot from afar, getting rid of these Wasps. You have such a good game. You have such a great chance of just coming back with all of your units over to this side. But no, there is no Wraith. There's nothing. By the time you get this tower, it's all empty here on the red side. There's even a Wasp in the back corner shooting at this tower, so pretty much GG at this point. I don't think they'll even get this tower, to be honest. Maybe. But it doesn't even matter. There's nothing left. Alright, so this is a good game. I think this is a good example of how somebody can really fixate themselves on a strategy that doesn't work and fail to pivot. So 3 things that the red player could have done. One is recognizing the real threat on the board. It's not the Mustangs. It's this Wasp. They've been a problem since turn 2. Second thing, don't fixate on something that doesn't work. The tower capture here, if you have no unit to capture, the benefit of the debuff by simply getting the tower is not going to get you anything. Right, and you're just asking for hard defense or just a tower upgrade. You're spending so much resource on getting something that's not going to pay back. And then the third thing is unable to pivot. Right, and I feel like red is for the entire game not respecting these two wasps. And these two wasps, even if you're just looking at this damage, this wasp did 344,000 damage for this entire game, right? Of course, these level 4 Mustangs with the item dealing a little bit more, but these wasps are killers. They're doing so much damage here. Not able to pivot quickly and not able to say, yeah, I was wrong about these, and now I really wanted to do something here. It's really, I think, the third mistake. Well, overall, I think it was a good try, and I hope you enjoyed this game, and I'll see you on the next one.